So February, again looking at line 29, 30. February is shorter than the other 11 months. Is mensis, that month, is the shortest of the year. Martius unum et triginta dies longus est. March is long, est longus, to the extent of 130 days. So using that accusative of extent, duration, to tell us how long March is, how many days it has, right? In English, we'd say March is 31 days long. Et item Maius, Julius, Augustus, October. Item, new adverb in the margin, like etiam. Likewise. Excuse me. In the same way. Aprilis triginta dies habet. April has 30 days. Item Junius et September. Likewise, June and September have 30 days. Sex menses sunt dimidia pars anni. 6 months are dimidia pars anni, are the half part of the year. So dimidios, an adjective, being put here with pars, which is a feminine noun, a half part. You can see in the margin, dimidia pars, half part, quarta pars, fourth part, quarter. So 6 months are a half part of the year. Tres menses, quarta pars anni. 3 months are a quarter part of the year. Dies est dum sol in cielo est. Line 35. It is day while the sun is in the sky. Prima pars diei est mane. The first part, diei, genitive singular. Look for a moment at the chart on page 101. Note in the singular column, genitivus diei, dativus diei. Okay, so it's a little bit like the first declension that way, where we get the insula, insulae, genitive singular insulae, dative singular insulae. The first part of the day is morning. Mane, mane. He doesn't make this explicit here. Though he does tell you in the margin that mane is neuter. Mane is indeclinable. It's an indeclinable noun. It's interesting because it's also an adverb too. Same spelling. Mane. And all indeclinables are a neuter gender. So if we were going to say, for instance, a good morning, then we'd stick with it. Bonum mane, yeah, like so. Bonum, because this is neuter. And you know, it is a good morning. Let me just say est bonum mane, and bonum mane then in the nominative, right? Mane doesn't show case, is indeclinable, but but the adjective would. So, line 35. The first part of the day is morning. Pars postrema, the last part of the day, is evening. We know vespers. You see in the margin vesper, vesperi. This word is a little bit irregular. It forms some kind of odd forms for the ablative to express to be used in the ablative of time when in the evening. Can be vesperi, can be vespere. But anyway, we don't need to worry about that. What he's telling us here is that we have a second declension, vesper, vesperi. So the first part of the day is morning, the last part is evening. Dies est tempus a mane ad vesperum. Day is the time. A mane. See how mane doesn't change the ending, even though the preposition comes in front of it because it's indeclinable. Is the time from morning ad vesperum, to evening. Nox, new word there, feminine, third declension. Nox est tempus a vespero ad mane. Night. Night is the time from evening to morning, ad mane. Vesper est finis diei. Evening is the end. Chapter 12, we saw finis, where that meant the border, the end, the limit, the borders of the Roman Empire. And here it's just the end. Evening is the end of the day. Die, genitive plural, genitive singular again. Atque initium noctis, and the beginning of night. Mane finis noctis est. Morning is the end of night. Atque initium diei, and the beginning of the day. All right. That should do it for today. Given the number of lines in this chapter, we have 4 days to go through this chapter. Today, then Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception when there are no classes, and then Thursday. So we have 4 days, but kind of like 5 because you also have that time over the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. There's not going to be a quiz over chapter 13. Instead, we're going to have the final exam. What's going to be relevant for the final exam out of chapter 13? Well, any of the vocabulary, right? The ability to read here, the ablative of time when, and the main thing maybe the first thing to focus on is that fifth declension, the chart of which you have on page 101, and the superlative. Okay, so those are, as usual, the vocabulary, the ability to read it, understand the grammar, and then the fifth declension and the superlative degree of the adjective. Okay, so that's what's going to come out of chapter 13 for the final exam. So yeah, I think we just knew we need to do 37 lines a day. So we're on pace. So we'll go on from line 40 on Monday, and catch up with any questions you have about chapter 12. And again, please continue to email me questions that you have. If you have any questions about the final exam review sheets that I circulated, or not review so much as study sheets, which I circulated, please email me. um, and that's, I think that's it for that. So anyway, we'll be back to normal, um, or I'll be dead on Monday. So I'm continuing to feel better. Just the fever has been wearing on. So it's anyway. But I'm sure the doctor said I should be 75% better by Friday. Um, if I don't have any fever tomorrow, I'll try to come in to my office so I can be there in case you want to drop by to ask questions or look at paints or go over homework exercises, something like that. And if I am going to be there, I'll let you know with an email. Otherwise, we'll try to get that all straightened out on Monday. Okay, so again, my apologies for this unusual week. I don't think I've ever been sick in quite this way for quite this long before, or there's fever that goes for days and days and days. So anyway, all right. So I'll look forward to seeing you all on Monday.